All right, thank you very much. And this woman needs no introduction, but we'll do it anyway. Notre Dame's Hall of Fame coach, this year's consensus National Coach of the Year, Muffet McGraw. Thanks for stopping by tonight.
So happy to be here on Notre Dame Day.
Oh, and by the way, on the rankings of people voting, because your program will get some of the money, you're in the top 10 last I checked. I think you were 4th or 5th. So since Deanna Gump just lobbied, go ahead, vote for women's basketball as well. 37 straight wins this year. I know you didn't get the last one, a little undermanned in that game. But what was that like, 37? Did you enjoy that? Was there pressure associated with that?
You know, it's funny, we never thought about it. We never stopped to pat ourselves on the back and think, wow, we're 37-0. We kept watching the film going, how can we get better? What's the next game? And I think this team, they had a business-like approach because of our leaders. Every game was like, okay, we won that one, now what's coming next? You know, we won the regular season. What about the tournament? What about the NCAA tournament? There was always something next.
You know, we talked about this a little bit in the green room beforehand, and I'll even take this back. I had the honor of interviewing John Wooden once, and he told me that he actually had gotten to the point, and this is now about 15 years ago, where he enjoyed watching the women's game better than the men's game because the women's game was more pure and played better. And that's why I enjoyed watching your team so much this year. Now, everybody loves to watch a winner, but you've had so many great teams. This one in particular, I thought really played the game of basketball the way it was supposed to be played on both ends of the floor. How would you evaluate that way to evaluate your team this year?
Well, I'd say offensively, we were one of the best teams in the country. I think we led the nation in assist to turnover ratio. We had so many assists. Every year, I think we're trying to lead the nation in that category. We're a really unselfish team. We always make a great pass, make a great extra pass. But I think defense is important to us, too. It creates a lot of offense. We want to score a lot of points. We want to be an up-and-down team, exciting, up-tempo. We want to score 80 points a game, but I only want to give up 50. That's my goal.
Your team also earned another distinction. I mean, a lot of people may not realize, though, but you were the only regional site to sell out, and that says a lot about your fan base.
We have the best fans in the country. I am so proud of the fans that we have. They traveled to Toledo in the first and second round. They came out here. It was the loudest Purcell Pavilion has ever been. I mean, I think 103 or 108 decibels. There has never been a crowd in there like that one.
Now, obviously, losing Natalie Achanwa was a tremendous loss, and we take nothing away from UConn in the title game. They played a terrific game, but I'm not sure they would have been able to play that well if Natalie had played. But what I think was lost on a lot of people was your semifinal victory. To play that well in the Final Four without a player of Natalie's stature, I thought that was an incredible achievement.
That might have been the best game we've played all year, considering we didn't have Natalie. I mean, everybody rose to the challenge. It was a game where the balance of our team, which we've had all year long, but the bench, they stepped up so big. Markeisha Wright, Taya Reimer, Madison Cable, Michaela Mabry. The bench guys, they really came in and did a great job.
And it was against a team that had played you very well the first time.
Best game we'd had all year. A 4-point game, a win where Kayla McBride had to make a shot really to seal the victory out there. So that was a game we were really afraid of.
We were also chatting. You kind of looked at me with a sly grin, but you have raised the bar here now. 4 straight trips to the Final Four. Is there pressure on you from that? Because you do a very good job. I can even tell in some of your press conferences, she's taking the pressure off the team again. You're very good at taking it on yourself. But have you created a certain amount of pressure now that it is the expectation that you get to the Final Four every year?
Well, I think this senior class has really raised the bar. 4 straight Final Fours, never been done before in school history, set the record for most wins in the program history. They did so many things, and I think every year is different. You know, we go into every year with a challenge to the team, and certainly we want to win a national championship. That is our goal every year. Some years the Sweet 16 is about as good as you're going to do. You're going to hit your stride, hit your potential, and some years the Final Four is what you want to do, and certainly that's our goal, but every year is different.
Skylar Diggins, such a great player, such a great personality. So when she graduates, a lot of people think, well, Notre Dame can't possibly be that good. But in your eyes, as you looked at this season, did this season surprise you, or is this what you thought this team could do?
You know, Skylar Diggins raised the level of intensity. She raised the bar of practice, the competition at practice, the intensity level. If you've seen her play, you know how intense she can be. And I think we continued that on. I think what we had this year was just great balance across the board. We had different people doing different things, everybody stepping up in different games.
You know, obviously when you're in the position that you are in, not only winning awards but having success, the higher you go in that tournament, the more media is around. But I read a really interesting interview that you gave about how grateful you are to Notre Dame and the fact it's often said that John Wooden, there would be no John Wooden today because I think it took him 11 years to really get it rolling at UCLA. You wouldn't get 11 years. Now, you had success right from the start, but not this kind of success. But you were allowed to grow here at Notre Dame.
You know, I think that's a big key. I was at Notre Dame for 10 years before we went to our first Final Four, and you're right, these days you don't get that opportunity. When I first started, the NCAA was only taking 32 teams to the tournament. It was a much different level for us. Ruth Riley came in, Beth Morgan came in, Neil Ivey came in, and we were able to win a national championship. But to have those years to grow as a coach, I think was a really important time for me.
You know, I'm not sure that people realize how much work goes into what you do either. They think, well, you get good players and you practice a couple hours a day, and in the off season you go to Bermuda or something. But a week ago, tomorrow, you had your banquet. 1,000 people showed up, and then Thursday I'm in the airport in Detroit, and I run past you and one of your assistants getting ready to go on yet another recruiting trip. Talk about how much work this is in the off season and year round now.
Well, it's all about recruiting. You know, it is a lot easier to win when you have good players, and certainly we spend a lot of our time recruiting. So that's a big key for us. We want to go out, we want to get to know these kids, have a relationship with them. We're not offering scholarships to anybody that we see. We're very particular. We want to get to know people, form a relationship, and that takes a lot of hard work. Most of it is done by my assistants, so I have to give them the credit. Now,
of course, NCAA rules prohibit you from mentioning anybody you're currently recruiting, anybody who has not signed. But in general, in terms of when you go out to recruit now, how is that going? Are you getting received better and better each and every year?
Yeah, we really are. I think our recruiting classes have improved every year. This year we got the Player of the Year in the nation from Houston, Texas, Brianna Turner. We have a really good class coming in. Catherine Westbeld, another McDonald's All-American. Michael Johnson. We've got 3 really good players coming in. I think each year they see us on TV, they see the excitement. They want to play here because it looks like a lot of fun. Our team has fun, and that's so important to me, that they enjoy the experience.
Now, what I'm not going to do to you is what people always do. Well, who's going to do this next year, and who's going to do that, and what's going to happen? Because it's a process. And the process is just beginning. It's begun, but you're so far away from being able to plug those pieces in. But big picture right now, what are you foreseeing for your team next year? You
know, next year we're going to really be young. It's going to be a little bit of a rebuilding year in that we've lost 5 kids to the WNBA first round in the last 3 years. We've lost 5 really good players. We have really good players coming up, but they're young. So I think it's going to take some time. Jewel Lloyd, of course, will be a National Player of the Year candidate. We've got a great point guard in Lindsey Allen. So we're hoping that the freshmen can come in and challenge some of the upperclassmen for some playing time. But it's going to be a year where I think early on we're going to be struggling to find our way. You know,
and that's a topic of discussion often, that women's basketball players may be more interested sometimes, the top ones, in a great degree than maybe the men are. But they also want to go play at the next level as well. So now you're giving them both. You're giving them this great Notre Dame degree and all the tools they need to get it. But there's also a pretty good pathway right now to the WNBA.
Well, it really is, and you can see that here, and I don't think there's a place in the country you can go that will give you the best of both worlds like we can, a great education and great basketball experience.
A guest we had last night via phone, Ruth Riley. Talk about what she still means to you and what she still means to this program.
Ruth is a great ambassador for our program. She is somebody that, when she came in, a humble kid from Indiana, has not changed after winning a national championship, being Player of the Year, gold medal in the Olympics, MVP of the WNBA team. I mean, she's done it all, achieved at a high level, and she still wants to give back. She is so involved in the community. What a great ambassador for us.
What do you love the most about being at Notre Dame?
What do I love about Notre Dame? I love what it stands for. I love working at a place where integrity matters. We are committed to excellence in everything we do, and yet we're equally committed to achieving it the right way. We set our standards high, and we don't apologize for that. We embrace that. I love the fact that my team can compete for a national championship and still graduate 100% of our players. Notre Dame's a place that challenges you every day to be your best. And I love a challenge, and my team loves a challenge. And I think we epitomize the Fighting Irish spirit this year, because we know, win or lose, the Notre Dame family is behind us. We are together. We are ND means something special to everyone. And I've learned so much in my 28 years here, but I think the thing that Notre Dame has taught me that really sticks out to me is that you don't climb a mountain so that the world can see you. You climb the mountains so that you can see the world. And I think at Notre Dame, it's a place where together, maybe we can change the world. That's why I'm so proud to be from ND.
It's always a pleasure, Muffet.
Thanks, Jack.
You know, there may be some debate nationally, but there's no debate here at Notre Dame. The best women's basketball coach in the country and probably the world, Muffet McGraw. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hard to believe it's going to be season number 28. Now let's go to Matt McCurdy.